Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Serrano. If you're new to the crew, I appreciate you for subscribing and get notified for more videos just like this. But if you're already a part of the crew, so today we're going to be talking about my top favorite budget devices from Motorola that I do own, and these all are going to be under $200. So make sure you hit the like button, show your support and appreciation as well. Now, the first device we're going to be talking about is a phone that I picked up from Metro about 3 or 4 years ago, April 2018. This device was actually a beast. It came out in several different variants, 2 gigabytes, 3 gigabytes, or 4, 16, 32, or 64. I have actually the 3 with the 32, and this does weigh about 200 grams. It's made of plastic. It's 6-inch display, LCD display on here as well. And we do get the option to connect to the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi as well, right? So really nice build. You get your volume rocker up top, power button beneath it. It's actually textured. So we do get like this textured power button, which is actually really nice. I do enjoy that. There's actually micro USB microphone on the bottom, headphone jack at the top, microphone at the top. On this side, we do get your SIM tray remover slot. And you can see right here, we are running an older software of Android. This is actually an 8.0, I think, but it's actually really older. It does have a security system update of May 1st, 2020. And we don't get Face ID on here. We just get the fingerprint right on the back as well. So I just kind of want to let you guys know that we don't get that facial recognition on here. But that fingerprint, it's going to work, pretty quickly in 2021 as well. Now, as far as the display on this device, we do get the 720, 1440, 268 for the PPI, and no notch on this 18:9 aspect ratio. And it comes in the box. This was the Metro version, so you basically just got your SIM remover tool, your user manual, your SIM card, and basically your charger and your wall brick with the micro USB connection. And when it came to this device, we did get the Snapdragon 425, so it was a decent processing chip. It definitely was able to handle most of the stuff that I threw at it, so I didn't really have any issues with it. It was definitely a pretty smooth chip overall, and it didn't run hot or anything like that, so I definitely liked this chip from Motorola. It was one of my favorite devices. Also, the cameras on here were actually pretty decent, in my opinion. And they didn't have portrait on the front like they do today in these times, but on the front camera, you can see we do get options right here. So we can change the video 30 frames per second, 1080, 720, or 480, and then pictures 18:9, 16:9, or 4:3. So, pretty decent there. And then when it came, that's pretty much for the video as well. So, pretty decent on the video side of things. And when it comes to the photo side of things, you get that, same deal on the rear with the video, and then you also do get some pretty decent picture quality on this device. So I definitely like that as well. And, they did offer some pretty cool features on this camera, HDR, beauty mode, things like that. And so I definitely think this is one of my favorite devices from Motorola. Now, this next device, the Motorola P30 Play, came out a year after the Motorola E5, and this device does also have some really nice features that I want to get to. You get your turbocharging, you get your standard brick and everything of that nature. So I do like the package, and it has come with that fast charger. We also do get 5.86 HD plus, 162 grams of weight. And as far as the processing chip, it's going to be the Snapdragon 625. Now, you do get the power button right here, volume rocker above it, which they always put the placement, and they also put the tray on the right hand side as well. But this device does have that wide notch, right? So it will have that wide notch, and you will get your attentive display on. So it's going to be really good. You do get your weather right here, so it will show you when it's raining or not. I definitely like how that changes. It's like an animated weather as well. But this device does record in 4K as far as the cameras, 13 megapixel on the back, 8 megapixel on the front. We also do get a 5 megapixel paired along with it. And the portraits are going to be really good on this device, front and rear. But I just want to let you guys know that we are going to have the ability to record in 4K on this thing, on the rear. But on the front, we get 60 frames and full HD on the front. But on the video for the you know what I'm saying, on the rear. We'll check out the settings right there. And they only give you full HD for photos, and for the videos you get 4K on the front of this guy as well. So that's actually pretty impressive. Front 4K on the front and rear of this device. 3000 milliamp hour battery. And when it comes to the overall size, you're gonna get LCD IPS display, 19 by 9, 720 by 1520, 287 medium density display, and it's gonna be really nice overall build. Gorilla Glass is on this device as well. And this device is really powerful. There are more devices that are more powerful that we'll get into later in this video, but I definitely want to cover this phone because it's definitely pretty cool. But we do get the gyroscope, compass, accelerometer, light sensor, proximity sensor, paired along with the 64 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 4 gigabytes of RAM. The Snapdragon 625 is on here. And when it comes to the graphics on this guy, I just kind of want to show you that real quick, because we do get that high graphics frame rate when you put it on smooth. So I definitely like that fact that you can change it to high graphics and keep it like that, so you can get, you know, a higher refresh rate when you're gaming. So I just kind of want to let you guys know that it's pretty smooth still, even in 2021. When it released in 2019, it was impressive. So it's still pretty impressive when it comes to the overall play of this thing. So I just kind of want to let you guys know that, you know, I really do enjoy gaming with this thing still. It's really responsive. And it's a really good device, right? So honestly, it did hold up really well. Now the next device we're going to be talking about is the Moto E7 Plus. Now this is one of my favorite Moto budget devices of all time. We get your micro USB on this and the pin for removing the SIM card inside of the box, as well as the power brick and the micro USB charging brick, cord. And then this device does have that attentive display, so you can actually get to your notifications and peek at them, right? So to save battery, so you don't have to always open up the screen, and it will save a lot of battery on all these devices because they all have that feature, right? We also do have that shake to get to your camera and flash and everything like that. Double tap the power button and you'll get to your camera. And this thing does have a textured power button. We also do have a volume rocker right above it. We also do have an assistant button right here, so you can actually ask it, what's the weather right now?
It's 82 and partly cloudy. Tonight, the forecast is for a high of 87 and a low of...
And so you get your full weather, 6.5 display, HD plus, 200 grams of weight, so it's really solid in the hand. 400, it's actually the Snapdragon 460 processing chip, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of internal storage, a 5000 milliamp hour battery on this thing, as well as a 48 megapixel camera and an 8 megapixel front selfie camera. And this thing does have Android 10 at this moment, so I definitely really like it. I hope it does get that Android 11. But it does say that we do have another update on this thing. It does look like there is another software upgrade date for this thing. So I definitely think that's going to be pretty cool as well, because it does say July 1st, and it does say reset your device right now. The display panel is a 6.5 TFT LCD IPS display, 20 by 9 aspect ratio. So it's going to be really nice. It has a 720 by 1600 HD plus display, 270 for the pixels per inch, water drop notch as well on this guy. Social media is really quick, as well as getting to other apps in this phone. So I just really like the overall way that it flows. It's really quick. Anything that you do on here is really snappy. You get that, you know, really snappy processing chip. Like I said before, it's gonna have the gyroscope. It's gonna have the accelerometer in this thing. It's also going to pack a really good processing speed as well, with the light sensor is included and a proximity sensor as well as the fingerprint sensor. We also do get facial recognition, and on the back you get that 48 megapixel, 2 megapixel coupled along with it, and the 8 on the front as well. So just a really solid device. Really like the features on here. You also do get, you know, night vision as well as portrait, as well as panorama, time lapse, and slow motion for the features of the camera as well. And so I only have really 3 complaints: the mono speaker, the micro USB charging, and the 10-watt fast charging. But other than that, everything else I really like about this device, especially that suede like matte finish on the back with that really nice coffee colors, like a really good color on the back of here, which blends from orange to a dark, you know, brown color, like light brown. It really looks really good and looks really classic. So when it comes to the graphics on this device, we are getting the Snapdragon as well. It's going to be the Snapdragon 460 on this device. So they do update the chip every single generation. We can game on smooth, high graphics, or balance and medium, but I like to do smooth and I like to do that high frame rate, right? So let's just jump into the game quality on here. The screens are 720, so some of these screens are a bit dim. We're gonna jump into some high res screens in just a second, but make sure you guys stay locked in. And if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you hit the like button. I extremely appreciate that. Alright guys, so when it comes to the gameplay on here, we get the Adreno 610 for the graphics, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of internal storage on here. Snapdragon 460, like I said, and it's an 11 nanometer processing chip clocked in at 1.8 gigahertz. We also do get the mono speakers, so it's easy to cover up if you're not paying attention. So I just want to let you guys know you might want to put it at an adequate volume. But this device does fly when it comes to the graphics, and overall the speeds are really impressive. So I definitely like this device when it comes to the overall speeds of this thing. Now this next device is honestly one of my favorite budget devices of all time. This is the Moto G Power 2021, and this thing has a lot to love. They did remove the dual speakers, but I'll get into why I do think this device is really cool. Overall, it's got a really nice build. Side-mounted fingerprint sensor, so they put the side-mounted fingerprint sensor on this device. And let me just take the case off so you could kind of see the overall design of this device in person, but it has a really cool color on this device. You can see we got that punch hole on the left-hand side of the device. Really sleek, feels really nice. That screen just looks absolutely buttery smooth. 6.6-inch HD plus display, 206 grams of weight, 662 for the processing chip, 5,000 milliamp hour battery, as well as Android 10. So we don't have Android 11 on here, which is just surprising. So hopefully we do get Android, 11 on this device very shortly. They're gonna give you some software updates. We're on June 1st right now, and you get the dark mode, you get all the other features, 48 megapixel camera, as well as an 8 megapixel on the front as well. So we definitely get some really cool, we get this 266 pixels per inch, 720 by 1600, 20 by 9 LCD IPS display. And we're gonna get into everything else, but this device does charge relatively quick because it's gonna give you that 15-watt charger with the 10-watt fast charging in the brick. So you just want to keep in mind that they only give you the 10-watt fast charger, but they also give you 15-watt charging capabilities. And we're going to have that shake to get to your flashlight, chop to get to your camera, all those gesture features that we do love and enjoy as well, right? Now, with the build quality of this device, you can see we do have the cameras, the 48, the 2, and the 2 for depth and for macro. And we also do have the power button here, as they traditionally put it, and the volume rocker right above it. It doubles as a power button, so you can see right there, it will open up, and that display looks absolutely gorgeous. One thing I do love is the ambient feature around the camera when you're using it, and on the selfies, right? You can see that thing kind of light up, and you can kind of see it. It's kind of blinking. It kind of looks really cool when you're looking at that. And we do get 1080-30 on this device, right? So it's going to be really stable as well for video and things like that. So I'm definitely really enjoying this for the cameras as well. Another thing I like is the splash resistant coating, polycarbonate finish on the back. It doesn't track any fingerprints on this device whatsoever, so that's something that I really do like about the Motorola G Power 2021. Now, how was the gaming, right? Snapdragon 662, we also do got the 11 nanometer processing chip, 2.0 when it comes to the frequency, and 610 when it comes to the Adreno processing chip. So basically, let's go into the graphics, and you can see we got that smooth, balanced, and medium option. We don't get the HD option on here, so I just want to throw that out there, be completely transparent with you. But we're gonna save it on this one, right? It's one of my favorite settings right there. Now this thing is packing the gyroscope. It's also packing the compass. It's also gonna pack the accelerometer, and it's gonna pack the light sensor as well as the proximity sensor on board. So I just kind of want to let you guys know that it will pack all of those sensors on here. So just keep in mind, we do get a mono speaker on this thing. So it would be helpful if we did get the dual speakers like we did in the last year's version, or the newer other options on it. But there are a lot of other devices that I'm going to get into that do also have dual speakers, so make sure you stay to the end of this video. But definitely like the fact that this device does have that large 6.6-inch display, right? Really smooth, really good. You get that gyroscope, which is really smooth. You know, I did get first blood right there, as you can see. Just a really smooth chipset. And just a really solid gameplay overall on this thing. Okay, so last but not least, this is my favorite Moto device of all time, right? This is the Moto G Stylus, right? The Moto G Stylus. And this Moto G Stylus is does have a lot of new versions, right? You can get the 5G model, or you can get the 2021 model, but this one has the dual speakers on it, right? So it's going to be really solid. It also does have that action camera, Snapdragon 665, 6.4 inches. You get Android 11 on this one, as well as the full HD plus display, 192 grams of weight when it comes to this thing. We do get the 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Now this thing does fly, just to be 100% honest with you, it does fly. It has a ton of features out the kazoo, and we do have all the newest features on here. So we do get light screencast, dark theme mode, hotspot, you know, battery saver flashlight, things of that nature. We also do get the, you know, shape to camera as well. So you can get the night mode on here if you want to get to the night vision. We do get 4K recording on here, as well as that action camera on this thing. So I definitely like the fact that we do have that action camera. And we do also get a 16 megapixel on the front of this thing. So I definitely think that's pretty cool. So I just want to let you guys know that we do get that. I'll just flip it around so I can show you guys the front facing camera. And it should give you that 60 megapixel on here as well, right here. So we do get the 60 megapixel, right? And it does say that you can get the quad megapixel. It does say recommended right there, but you can actually change it to 60 megapixel. It'll pixel bin, right? So it does look really good on the front. It also does look really good. You get portrait, you get macro, and you get macro video. So you can get macro mode on this thing when you flip it around, and it does give you that. You can go to macro video as well. So something to keep in mind, that you just get a lot of features to play around with, 4K recording and things like that. So I definitely like that device when it comes to the camera. Now they actually did tuck away the Adreno 610 inside of here. They also did tuck in the 4 gigabytes of RAM paired along with the 128 gigabytes of internal storage. So they did tuck those in, and they did also pack the gyroscope as well as the accelerometer they put inside of there. Light sensor, proximity sensor, and fingerprint sensor on this thing. But just keep in mind that we are getting that 16 megapixel wide angle camera on this thing included, so you will be able to get that 120 degrees of taking photos. And when it comes to the graphics of this guy, let's just check it out. But we do get smooth high, which is actually my favorite setting for a budget device to game on. Now that screen is going to give you 397 pixels per inch, 1080 by 2300, 6.4 LCD display. So it's going to be really good when it comes to looking at it. And you can hear those dual speakers, right? This thing is extremely loud. No matter if you cover it or not at the bottom, you're gonna get that nice, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get that thing in it where it basically, this thing is really solid because you're gonna hear the speakers no matter if you cover it or not. So really solid gameplay on this thing, because you could definitely get those immersive speakers when you're listening to it. You get the Dolby audio on this thing. And like I said, it's gonna be a really immersive audio experience on this guy. So I didn't really have any issues when I was gaming on this guy. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. These are my top 5 Moto devices that I definitely like using in 2021. I definitely like these devices overall. These are devices that I do own and use, and I would recommend because I did have a really good experience with all of these. But if you did find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. I just appreciate you guys for supporting me and watching the video through the end, and I'm definitely gonna get right back with you. Show up in the comment section right now. Later, crew. Peace.